This is it. Hello everyone. I am setting up my stuff. Just a sec here. I don't know, for whatever reason, it just does not. OBS doesn't want to save my settings. I'm also overblown. Oh, okay, here I am. Things you should check before starting live streams. I don't care. So I'm not an influencer. If I were, I would be caring, but I don't. So, hey, Drug Death, you've got like 20 songs to finish. This better be good. Oh God, I put this title today. Like I typed it in, knowing that it could be the most overlooked title ever. Like, you know, when people see the latest plugin name, or I don't know, maybe, you know, you have a very famous YouTube account and you just, you know, do something, you know, bedroom session with my 300 rabbits, you know, and people go like, oh, this is awesome. You type something like how to finish a song and people are like, whatever, I don't care. But there's two things. There's that one person, which in this case, there's more than one, that says like, wait, what? And there's 300 million people who in the back of their head are thinking, oh no, this is so horrible, as a reminder that I don't want to watch that video or that stream, because I actually don't want to go through the pain of knowing what, or you know, what it takes or how you finish a song. So is the title I wrote sarcastic? I would say no, which is the most dangerous thing ever. Like, it isn't. So but the pressure that is now building after I realized the title I've put in is insane. Okay, so we have been talking about this stuff since forever. Okay, I didn't have a YouTube account, and in teaching, like real world teaching or Skype sessions, I was doing Skype, but I didn't have a public account. This was a huge topic. So 2010 to 2020, huge topic. Just to show you that it's always been insanely important. Okay, then whatever. There's been before 2010 to, you know, all the way back to 2000, huge topic anywhere. You know, I wasn't teaching up until 2007, end of 7, 8, but huge topic as a student, or as a, you know, you're always a student, but as an official enrolled student anywhere. You know, all faculties have been in, no matter the genre. It's just, how do you do it? Okay. So, in today's stream, we're gonna go over the most stupid things that I will not believe interesting to explain, in the hope that I show you my routine, minus, you know, brushing my teeth, going to the toilet, that stuff. My routine for finishing a song, or what it takes when you're kind of crossing over to say it's finished. Now, to reach this kind of level, which is not like a proficiency level, to reach this stage, you need to have had a part in which you're developing the song, and then you have to have a part in which you started a song. Are you with me? Right? Yes. The problem is, most people write ideas and then they don't develop them enough to become a full-fledged song. They abandoned it a little too soon, because I am a believer in, I don't remember who said it, I didn't invent these, but I remember having teachers who said that their own teachers used to say a mix or a song is never finished, is only abandoned. I don't remember who's, it's like there's gotta be a famous guy or whatever, woman, or no, famous human being who said something like this, and then it became kind of a aphorism or something. It's true, you never really finish something in terms of creating, crafting, and producing. You declare it ripe to be abandoned, and you let it go, okay? To do that, a lot of you, a lot of us, a lot of everybody, we have tons of ideas. When they start developing into something serious, I believe we get scared and we say, okay, no, this is now no longer dopamine creative. It's getting into a task. And I am seeing this song as an entity that I am being confronted against. And I hate it. It's painful. It's showing me things that put me under pressure. I don't want to do it. Abandon it. Once you abandon it, you start an idea again, because you get a cool idea and you think, oh, I can hear the song in my head. Then you get to the same point and you loop it and you never get a song done. We are here a little bit past that, or actually a lot past that. We're at a stage in which we're listening to something, and I've done automation, I've written everything, and this is really, I have not listened to the song today. I don't know how this song's gonna go. So I haven't even opened the session, okay? Okay, are we there? Yes. So how does it work? Well, the first thing is you open your DAW and it's probably gonna go empty project, or it's gonna go whatever, open, right? Something like that. So we're gonna go O, or actually not even that. How do we go? We close it, we don't save the project, and Bitwig asks, what do you want to do? And this is, it seems stupid. This is the moment in which you open something that you that you're going to judge against. Okay, so I believe, now I don't really remember, but I think my first template DZ11D is the finished song. I hope it is. Okay, so I actually think we should open 11C. I'm gonna show you why. I don't think 11D has anything different, but I don't know. So we're gonna go 11C. And there's already a problem or a critic that I am making to myself. I should have typed a better title. Not the song title, like my first template, doesn't matter. The suffix. So 11C is obviously after 10 or 11B, but it has a print. You see it up there, here, to bus red and print. It's got prints. This is printed, okay? So it's getting printed. Now things are loading. So we open our song and we open the right one. I'm gonna show you how and why. There's a ton of automation done. I love Bitwig because it's pushing me to being comfortable with doing movements instead of writing more. And this is exactly the type of DAW I need for the project that I'm working on, okay? Maybe not for you, maybe not for somebody else. If you're scoring an orchestra, a real one, I don't know, maybe you want to use something else, right? But for the project at hand, it took me a little bit to find it. I thought kind of another DAW would have been that. Bitwig is that one, okay? So we open it up, we're super cool, we're having a lot of fun, and we say, well, okay, you know, this looks like the session. Okay, let's see where we are. We open something and it looks like this. Look at the automation that I've done on this redrum. What the heck? Is it gonna sound fine? You see, there's tons of movements. Some of them are hidden. Okay, so we have an intro and we have everything else. So you open the session. Be methodical and be fresh, okay? Number 2, you check your hardware. Reason being, it will not probably work right off the bat how it should be, okay? So my first check in this specific case is about MIDI. I need to make sure that I am sending clock the right way, okay? That's my first thing that I need to do, and let's stay on it. We need to check that the session is fine, because if it is, then we're gonna listen to it and then we're gonna print it. We're actually gonna print it so we listen in real time, okay? It's excruciating, but I'm the creator of this song, so I'm the one in pain. You are comfortable in your whatever place and where you are, just don't worry, I'll take the hit for you. So the session looks fine. everything loaded. We have no mistakes. Okay, this is good because we know we're gonna print, so nothing has to be off, okay? But we're also gonna judge and make, judgments and comments on what we hear. So it could lead to different, I don't know, maybe settings, a little bit of a volume change, a little bit of a pan change. We could even end up in a loophole in which we want to change something extremely important. We don't know, but it better be the exact same session you had before. Now, because I have a pretty extensive setup, we gotta make sure. So first thing is you turn on all of your instruments. In my case, I have to remove the local channel from the base station, which I have done. Second, I turn everything up, my pedals as well, which you can see above the Prophet. The avalanche run does not start in engage. It starts in bypass. That's part of my routine. I know that very well. I just look at that. It's always in bypass. The moment it turns on, I engage the pedal with my hand because it's not really a pedal. Then it's not gonna get the clock, but I don't need it because I use it as a reverb and not as a delay most of the time. If it does, I tap it, okay? Now, because the session is done, if you have MIDI, it's not done. It should not be having MIDI. By MIDI, I mean I don't want messages to be sent to the synthesizers and then come back. If it's a finished song or we're approaching final stage, there's no MIDI. There is MIDI, but it's frozen and it's all bounced to audio. The way I've done it, and this is just me in Bitwig, I've bounced some or most of the tracks into audio. And you can see that there's a white square. It's an ASCII, ASCII, whatever you want to call it. I know people that call it ASCII, people that call it ASCII for whatever reason. I am friends with those people as well. I don't believe that. But it's a character that you can type on Windows if you hold Alt-GR and go 987. It's very easy, and it's easy to do for pianists because it's like 432, and you type that white square. That white square to me means it's a bounced track. Super easy. See how I'm, methodical on it? It has an input channel. It doesn't really matter. It should have none. So all of these bounced with tracks should have no input whatsoever because they really need no input. But even if they do, they're not input monitored. So we don't have MIDI. If we do have MIDI, we need to bounce it first. But I've done it already. Things work. There's literally, we're going to open it up a little bit more. I'm looking at things. This is internal MIDI, machine drum, P12 hats, Octatrack. This is all internal to samples that are in the drum machine that are a device in Bitwig. So external MIDI, there should be none, okay? Let's take a look at that. See how I'm not judging, I'm not doing artistic calls. I'm engineering now, I wanna be fresh, and I don't press play because if you do, it will be weird. Now, one thing I see that it's kinda weird is this thing. I see a Prophet 6 number 1 all the way down there. Now this is kind of weird because I don't think that there is anything here, but this is visually wrong. I'm thinking there should actually be a track in here for some reason, and I think it would play maybe here, maybe not. I have no idea why that is here, and probably it's just, let's see that. Is it the same length as the tuba sprint? Probably, right? Okay, so I see what happened. This is just a dummy recording that I've done, my mistake. So this should not be here. There's nothing playing, it can stay or not. That's just okay. It was probably armed for tracking when I bounced the print. Okay, so we're good. See how, like, one little thing can really throw you off. Okay, then we continue. So we know there's no MIDI, we're all good. Everything's done. We check the main plugins, but we want to check MIDI first, and I'm going to tell you why. This interface of mine with Bitwig, sometimes, on this session especially, needs to be called in a way that the interface and Bitwig are talking together, because my MIDI interface can be all inputs or outputs or any mixed in between thing. And Bitwig kind of doesn't like it that much. I don't know why or how that happens, but it's like that. So all internal MIDI is there. It might be bounced or not. And then the audio for external MIDI is all bounced. The Prophet 12 is bounced. The Nord lead is bounced. The DW8000 is bounced. Even Concerto and even Coil has been bounced. Like I've left few things to chance. Probably just the drum machines are MIDI. The rest is all bounced. And I like that. And I usually call this version of a session solid. So this should have been DZ11D solid, okay? And solid would probably also have all of these kicks printed, all of these snares, all of these hats. Like the solid version has literally everything. But I don't always do it because I like to maybe do it as an archival version, okay? But remember, I like to do a solid. That's how I call it, and it's a solid. It's called solid. Now, the solid clean is actually a version in which you don't have any virtual instruments loaded, you only have audio loaded. So it's a lighter version because all of the virtual instruments that have been bounced are actually disabled or removed. So I do a solid and I do a solid clean, right? But those sometimes happen after I'm done with the one print that might be the final mix, okay? So this is it. We want to know for sure that our tracks are playing. So I'm gonna go to bass station 2, the instrument's on, and I'm gonna play. And as you can see, is it coming out? Maybe yes, maybe no. I see I'm sending MIDI here, but it's not going to the bus, to the USB. For whatever reason, this is not, oh, maybe because it's off the volume. Let's solo this one and just keep your ears fresh. So when you do these kind of checks, never listen to the full song, okay? Okay, I should hear it though. Okay, so why don't I hear anything? Maybe it's very low. Let's bring the 0. Okay, so volume was low. Now I have to turn on your stream and the tool after. If you remember from the previous streams, I have a feed of audio that goes to you. So now when I press play, you're gonna hear it. All right, so hold on. This is exactly what happens each time I open this specific session. I don't know if this has been done because of the betas of Bitwig or because I started it before the beta and then I turn it on, or I don't know. It's not related to, it could be a plugin that is doing this, and it says audio appears to be hung, and in fact, you know, you heard it, right? It got hung. Now this happens actually because of the MIDI driver going to my MIDI interface. I think I've pinpointed it pretty right. So it should happen once, and then once we fix it, or if I had fixed it before coming here, it wouldn't have happened. But you know, technical problem. So what do? We terminate the audio engine and we wait for Bitwig to terminate. We have nothing to lose. We know we saved it. It's just a matter of reopening DZ11C, and we haven't done anything else, right? Now, one way that I think I've fixed this thing is by resetting the MIDI interface on USB. I could as simply as just unplug it and plug it back while Bitwig is on. We'll kind of reset the way it's sending clock and it will work for, I don't know. I've tried it and it does work. So let's try that. So we terminate audio engine. You see I'm clicking on it, nothing happens. Believe it or not, it's just going in the background. It's closing the audio engine, okay? And then I can't even kind of minimize this, but it will take a little bit of time. It should terminate the audio engine. This is also good for Bitwig users if you're a Bitwig user. I kind of found out that I have another 2 songs. One is just 1 track so far, but I have another one that's getting pretty intense and it doesn't do that. So I think there's something in this session that got bugged through routing or different versions, or that I took it to the beta from 5.18. I don't really know, but let's try this. Let's try and just wait, because that's how it should be. It should terminate the audio engine, so it should do it. Once this is done, we'll go through the MIDI interfaces to the USB 3 view. Do I have it here? USB settings? No. Okay. It should be, if I do this and go here, should be this program here. Right. Okay. So while it's doing that, we'll also wait for it. I have on Windows this USB device tree viewer. This is a very interesting one because it just shows you the USB ports. And what I do once the audio engine's been terminated, it should work. If it doesn't, okay, see? Bitwig does not crash. Just wait for it and it should be okay, okay? So it did crash, it kind of recovered, and now the audio is off, right? If we just bring it on, it will be offline, right? It won't play any audio because we don't have audio. So I'm gonna reactivate it. That's not the way I do it, but that could work. So let's turn it on. I'm gonna mute everything so that I don't get blasted in case something explodes. It's also very interesting. If this happened in another DAW, for example, there are times in which this happened to me years ago in Studio One, something like it, like your DAW hangs. Usually I would stop and quit and reboot the computer, okay, and just load it fresh. When you do prints, it sounds like I'm very old now. This sounds like my teacher when I was 14. It's like, you gotta reboot your computer because it's better, and and this is actually how I used to do it. It's always better to do it. Oh, hello, Patrick. So back to our SA3 MacDSP issues. MacDSP confirmed my bug. The plugin works, but without visual rendering. So it's a GFX big bound to Bitwig Windows. All right. Bug bound to Bitwig Windows. All right. Cool. Nice that they're working on it. Awesome. So we're here. It could work. Let's see if this track of the base station track works. It should no longer hang. Let me open your audio as well. All right, it works. But does my Prophet 12, for example, work? Or does my Nord lead work? You see what happens? This is the thing I was mentioning. So I'm playing the Nord lead, but this is not sending the actual MIDI there. And I can actually see my MIDI interface not blinking in the right direction. So I believe this is the reason why Bitwig, the beta, hangs. There's also something weird about UAD Spark. I see it crashing and rebooting, so it could also be a UAD plugin into Bitwig, but it's weird because after I've done that, it always works. So instead of unplugging and replugging, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and safely remove the device, see if that works, and it doesn't do it. It doesn't remove it. So we're gonna restart the device, which could work. We go back to Bitwig. We try and play the Nord lead. And the Nord lead is on, obviously double check that. It's not doing it. Okay, so then we try and remove it again. It won't do it because it's being used by Bitwig. So we try and restart the port. Okay. That's the usual steps that I do. Once you restart the port, obviously it's like you're taking your USB and you're just completely rebuilding it. So Bitwig says, I cannot send to MIDI message. Okay, well, it couldn't do it before as well. Now we try and play the Nord lead, still not playing it. Prophet 12, still not playing it. So now, maybe it's coming in a little bit. we try and restart the device. Let me see if that works. So if I really have to go back and do it. So Voyager. So here I'm getting sound. Right? This is working. So there's like 1024 of buffer. So again, it's not a buffer thing. Let's see if my Nord lead plays. This is still not playing. Okay, so we go in preferences and we see that all the controllers are here. The media and everything is here. You see I'm sending that one here as well. It doesn't work. So oh, see, this is happening. It's getting kind of cleaned out for whatever reason. Might get to be working. And this, I think it's specific to the media interface I have. Just because it can do 6, I probably should uninstall the generic driver, something like it. See what's happening in the background? Let's try and play it now. Okay, what's my Nord lead? Doesn't do it. Okay, now it's coming back. I'm thinking it might work now. See the 16s are getting rescanned. Oh, okay. Prophet, are you here? No. Baseline, synth. Well, the other stuff should work. For example, this one. Where are we? Am I muted? Maybe? No. Okay. What's kicks? So I don't see it going up though. It should. It should. Now everything should be playing. We don't hear it. Did I mute something here? No. No. Okay. Let me play audio just to... Oh, because I'm soloed. I'm stupid, obviously. So we got the sounds. And how about my Nord lead? Still doesn't work. Okay, Prophet 12. You see, I'm not... But if I play the Prophet, you hear it, right? So, and if I play the Prophet 6, we hear it. And if I play the Nord lead, we hear it. So everything's working, but it's not sending media out. And we need to do it because otherwise it will hang. Even if I'm not sending external media, I need this to work. So let me try and safely remove. Look at that. It's now doing it. And now it's restarting. Boom. Maybe. Okay. Bitwig's kind of weird about it. Yet, still. It's kind of hung in the middle. See? They're coming back up. And again, this is kind of to not go behind the computer and just unplug it. But if I do that before starting things, let's see if Bitwig really hates us now. Could be. Okay. Hi. Bitwig, you there? Yes. Boom. Right? Okay, so we have sound. Now, why does this sound different than this? I'm playing it from the base station. From this. The reason is I'm playing the Nord lead through all of its 4 channels. I usually do it that way, okay? So this session's now fine. We're good. We're good to go. But we're good to print it, so we gotta do file. I wanna do file save as, okay? And I'm gonna call these 11E, and I'm gonna call it print1, print01, okay? And usually this would be mix01, no master. Okay, that's my print1 mix01 no master. Why do I use that? It means, and I'm also doing like, why do I use that? I'm watching too much Scorsese movies, too many Scorsese movies and stuff, too much work from him. So print01 means this was the first print that I've done, that I'm doing, right? And the print contains mix01 no master. Sometimes I call it also print, and it means that there's a print which is mix01 no master. Okay, we're gonna print mix01 no master. Why is it a no master? Because there's only a mix bus, there is no second mix bus or master bus. That's dangerous to call it that way, but I usually have a second bus that I do my finalizing on, or I print no master and then I do a mastering session afterwards. It depends on the project. It depends on a lot of things. This is going to be mix 01, no master, okay? And 11E is the version of the actual song. So this is the structure of how it is. It's going to be incremental. Don't judge. This is insanely useful, literally. So what we're going to do is we're going to save. And now we have a fresh new version. We haven't touched 11C or 11D. We don't want to override them in any way, right? We just want to play and do stuff. So when things are like this, there would be no prints here, okay? There would be no files. These two are actually prints from 11C mix 1 no master. So normally there's nothing like that, but I always have 3 tracks, okay? We're gonna do there's one missing, obviously. I have 3 tracks that I print to at the same time. This is kind of cool. I have my return for the whole of the effects, okay? And I have my print, the official print, and I have the print pre-effects, okay? I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So my 2-bus return print is easy. This one we activate it. It has the input of my 2-bus return. It funnels all of my hardware effects, and it will go to effects master if we want to use it that way. But normally I use no outputs. I don't want to output to anything. Otherwise, we hear it twice, right? Because there's the monitoring and then there's the print itself. So we capture from the 2-bus return. This is my 2-bus return. Let's call it right, 2-bus return track. This character would not be here. I do Alt 987, boom. Okay, it means it's a print, it's a bus, it's a print thing. Then we got a print track, but actually we got 2 print tracks that I should create. We have a print, no mix bus, and we have an official print. Now, the official print is easy, right? You take the output of your mix track. So you take mix master pre, okay? Why do I want mix master pre? Let's go to the mixer and I'm gonna show you. If we go all the way to the right, I have a green track that is my mix track, and it's got my Ars Mix Bus 1, right? That's the device that holds all of the plugins, and we remember all of them, and they're nice, they're cool, we've seen them 300 million times, and they're here, Mix Bus 1. So this fader is at 0, but I want to ignore it completely. I want to print right after the mix bus processing, but I don't want to print after the fader. It might be that this thing is moving and it's like at -3 or 4. I usually don't automate this, so I usually print pre-fader. If you want, you can print post-fader. That's exactly identical in this case because there's no mixer movement at fader level. But whatever you do, never print from the monitoring track. Don't do it, because the monitoring track is for you to listen right now and for me to monitor through my room calibration and all that stuff. So I could have the monitoring very low. You would still get the same volume for the stream. It's just easier on my ears. I could lower the monitor there on the mastering transfer, the monitoring console. It's okay. But because I'm printing pre-master in the mix channel, there's no risk at all, right? Okay. So the print, we go all the way up here. See this nice light green, that's perfect. We're catching from mix master pre, okay? Now, the print no mix bus is a little bit more interesting or interesting. Why is it more interesting? Because it's gonna capture the mix from before the actual print of the mix bus. So I wanna capture it before it happens, okay? So I found a way to do it. Maybe it's not your way to do it. I just instantiate a tool here that is completely flat. It has no volume, it has no gain. I usually have a trim plugin anyway. Trust me, like this is I actually usually call it mix trim, okay? Mix trim is my volume and adjustment fader before hitting the mix bus. Because sometimes I'm a little bit too hot, sometimes are a little bit not hot enough. We're gonna test it, we're gonna see it. And I usually adjust the tool, I don't adjust the first plugin in the mix bus, okay? But we're gonna test it, so you're gonna see it. We go print no mix bus. Okay, so now who is the input of no mix bus? It's mix, mix master, mix trim out. Okay, why am I doing mix trim out? Because if I mix trim out, if I capture the output of mix trim, I am post trim, but I am pre-mix bus processing. Does it make sense? I'm like literally in here, in between mix trim and the second device. And this is very interesting because it also allows me to say, I want to gain -6 and it will get printed. And I usually want it to get printed at -6, for example, and because I might be peaking without mix bus processing, so I kind of like to stay maybe 3 to 6 dBs lower, okay? So we save, and this should stay in your template, or at least this stays in my other DAWs templates. They're like this. There's 2 bus return, there's print no mix bus, and there's print. Now the last thing I have to do is I have to go no output on print no mix bus, because as we said, we don't want to hear it. And I will go off monitoring. I don't want to monitor anything in automatic. I don't want Bitwig to decide for me that I'm, whatever, in need of monitoring any of these channels. I'll do it past in the mastering session, for example, but not now. So I'm gonna save. We got the outputs set to none. We got the inputs set right. What we need to do is just push play and record while these 3 things are armed, right? We make sure nothing else is armed. You see this Nord lead is now armed. We have to disarm it. And once we press record, we'll get 3 simultaneous prints. The return of my effects, my print without the mix bus processing, and the print with the mix bus processing. Okay, so we're approaching the moment. I mean, this would be my template already, and the bugs I would have solved before, right? Now, to the delight of some of you people in here, there's markers. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Alberto's put markers. I usually don't do that a lot. When you see markers in songs I write, they're approaching almost a final stage, okay? And the reason why it's a final stage, it's related to how production wants me to write the stuff. It could be dissectable so that it needs to be trimmed or looped in different ways. Programmers might want to slice segments that they, in order for them to match. And so there will be, I usually send them when they want to slice them as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it becomes different scenes. Okay, so you can start from marker start, you can start from marker 1, 2, 3, 4. These markers, they don't have chorus. I don't write chorus, I don't write whatever. I might do it afterwards if there's build up, or I usually never do it, and I've never had issues with people saying, oh, we only got numbers, we don't know. They're gonna listen to your stuff, believe it or not, it's gonna happen. So what I usually do here is I make sure that all of the plugins are working. And this again might seem absolutely super stupid, but trust me, it isn't. So this should probably be a lighter green as well, because it's the color of printing things in Bitwig for me now. What we gotta make sure is that we have plugins that work. Now, you probably won't believe me, but there are millions of occasions in which I've opened a session, and because of a firewall check, because of a demo that expired, because of an NFR license of a company I work with that has expired and I forgot to have them renewed, because of a bug in an updated plugin that I've updated before the project was done, and so on and so forth, or because I don't have an iLock plugged in. For example, my wife's iLock that I use sometimes for demos or different post-production stuff that she has. You know, I need a license, just put it in, demo it, put it, and maybe it's not connected. And maybe I didn't get an error. The iLock plugins are a little bit more of a hassle, but when they are offline, they will tell you. Other plugins with different protection schemes, or you know, the plugins that call to the developer website to know if there's been an update and stuff, and they don't find a license, that will they're gonna stonewall your account and just say like, well, I don't know, well, we're going to demo or disable the plugin, but you get no notification. Okay, so what I do is I go over every plugin that is active that I have. Unless it's a device, I usually do it. So filter bank, which is just a -6. Don't touch anything. We don't need to do anything. Let's go over what I've done. It's a good occasion to do it. So my Beats bus has filter bank, has a kilohertz that makes everything completely mono, has a Reason Rack plugin. That's a Blamsoft thing. I absolutely love. This is a Shredder series thing. Boom. I have a Sonic EQ, which has become for this project my go-to. Also because I like to automate a lot of these stuff. It's got that one, okay, that works. Then we go to this one, that's actually a freebie. It's a Tesla Pro, variety of sound. If you don't have this thing, get it, it's free. It's Windows only, but it's fantastic, 64 bits. Drum Machines has a drum machine. Then I have Crispy Clip. Okay, Crispy Clip is the one that I had for some accidents disabled because it verifies your license with Yum Audio. Okay, if you don't have Crispy Clip, you know, I don't know who you are. Crispy Clip is 0 latency and sounds off the hook. So, you know, yes. Now, if Bitwig, I know Patrick's here. Patrick, you know that much better than I do. But when you don't see a device window opening up like a little bit of a screen thing, it's not a third-party plugin that has maybe a screen to show. So I'm not worried about those because those are integrated in Bitwig. Maybe I should be worried, maybe I don't. This has a month of expiration, so you know that's one of my presets. It's working. We move on. That's the Prophet 12 hi-hats that I have. Drum machine, orange clip. Okay, orange clip is another one that needs to be checked. It's all in order. EQ5, that is Bitwigs, that's okay. Machine drum kicks, unfiltered audio, instant delay, plugin alliance. We know plugin alliance plugins, they call, right? So they want to know if you have a license for it, if it's a demo and it's expired, if it's an NFR, so on and so forth. See how it's moving. It's getting filtered and modulated by, I think, a modulator within Bitwig. It's all good. Echo Boy, we verified Echo Boy works. So if you remember you verified stuff, maybe you don't need that. EQ Plus, we don't need to see it, it's Bitwigs. My Octatrack kicks have Morph Verb. On presets I've done, Watcher 6 I've used 3 tons of times. EQ Plus we don't need to check. The other kicks have Alberto's Glitch Percussion Generator. So that's all good. Then there's Crispy Clip, which we verified already, and Echo Boy. Okay, so now we know. Filter Bank, we already saw it. So we move on to what? The grooves. Okay, Filter Bank, we know it works. But I open it anyway. Parallel process number 1, loving this plugin to death. If you have not tried it, it's just a simple parallel process, shows you nothing about it, but it's something that Make Believe Studios, all the way from beautiful Nebraska, is using. And it says insert on snare and blend to taste. And I've put it on the whole grooves bus. So that's how I do it. Mix head, I have it. I have this DZ tape preset on the grooves. So I got mix head and it's staying on the grooves bus. So it's a cool thing. We're going over everything. Redrum, mono machine. These are mono machine samples put into this setting here. So there's this one, there's a pulverizer, beautiful, most amazing plugin ever made. Blamsoft overdrive, equalizer, compressor, maximizer, loving this. It works, boom, ciao. Everything's loaded up. Now we go to Orange Clip, we know it works. Then there's another Spec Ops. We know that one works because we've tried it. How about Verbum? It works. So you just open them all along. What was here? Another Reason plugin. So this is Kong. Kong, just beautiful. If you ever tried Kong, you should do it. It's just, the sound presets are fantastic. They sound a little bit too clean, but if you process them, they are just so ready. This is my filter bank. That's another reason pulverizer. That's actually a ground zero preset. Okay, awesome. The filter bank, and then there's bases. So this is the Pro C. That's for doing side chaining. Awesome. So now we remember. Now we know there's a side chain on the bass bus. Good to know. Then we go orange clip. Then there's the LA2A tube. That's another plugin that calls. You saw how it was just instantiating itself. And it could be a reason why things are not working. Like I see that the UAD plugin in the system tray is crashing. Maybe it's also about that. I don't know. Orange clip, another LA2, most beautiful compressor for the bass line that I could find on software is the UAD LA2A. My God, it's insane. I've put it on all of the bass lines. Also, the bass line, remember, it's coming out from my my culture vulture. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. Well, now it's in the shot. So the culture vulture is pushing for my bass line and bass station too. So I use the culture vulture to process bass. Okay, in this project, and I think it's gonna stay because it just sounds fantastic. So Q2 crispy clip, look at it, awesome. Synthesizers, filter bank, I remember it's gotta be that high pass, kilohertz stereo thing. Now, this is kind of weird though. Why is this moving? Oh, maybe it's moving. Oh, this is just showing things because there's hardware stuff and it's showing our correlation. Awesome. All right, we're good. Pro C. Remember, we got a sidechain on the synth bus. This stuff is in bypass, I don't care. The baseline intro has nothing because it was printed straight, all the plugins in. Morph verb, hello. Fighter cockpit, all right, at 100% wet. Awesome. D359, another insane plugin from the compressor series of Mac DSP. Use it a lot. Okay. These are all hardware instruments. Fury, okay, Fury. I'm showing you everything I use in this song. Isn't it awesome? Just like, glimpses, and you can pause. Fury is another beautiful plugin. I haven't used it in the past years, but got it recently. Verbum, it's there. Sonic EQ, again, we know it works. Pitch shifter, it's just from within there. Bitwig, so it's okay. This one looks good. Filter bank, now we're on to the orchestra stuff. Now, the orchestral stuff has a Manly on it. From a setting from, the Skywarmer sound bundle that I've invented. I haven't invented it, I just got it from people that made amazing movies and video games. So that's another fantastic thing. I always kind of in the last year or so have it on the realistic sounds, like orchestral stuff and samples and voices, all those things. Then we got Brahms. This is Forzo. Beautiful other library, still Heaviosity. You should really get practically everything Heaviosity makes. I think we have discounts education with the Patreon. So just if you do, remember to let me know. Then the orchestral Brahms, as we know, 6030 again on the Brahms. And then we go to the effects bus, which has got a high pass, and the Pro C again. Now we're on to the mix bus. So we're getting close to it. So we know the session is operating within normal nominal parameters, right? Things haven't destroyed themselves. This plugin is on, the 6020 is on, the 432, again, could be a licensing thing, just make sure that works. The glue, it works, I'm keeping it at oversampling 0.1 time. Good math, we know that. And ambient EQ, my gosh, this is another insane EQ. For whatever reason now I can't live without it. It's got some sauce to it, sounds good. So it's also nice to use fresh tools from different projects. Sometimes you just want to reverse stuff. To stream, tool, reverberate, everything's on. So we save, we're ready to print, right? And what I usually do is I set a loop to do punch in and punch out. But I have no idea how to do punch in and punch out in Bitwig. Well, I know how to do punch in, I don't know how to punch out. So instead of punching out, I will just press stop. And this will end the song somewhere where I believe it should be done. The important thing is that I start at start. And this is a completely in like what's the word I'm looking for? Completely situational marker that has to be start, and I color it green because it just tells me that it's a starter. So this is a little bit before things happen. You want to have like a lot of leeway. Could be probably even bar 9, but we'll do it there. It's the beginning of bar 10. Nothing should be in the way. So I'm going to reduce the screen here. I'm going to take out, and this is where I have to like kind of pause. This is where you've done your technical homework, okay? The engineer is now getting kicked in the butt and sent away because we're listening to, do we like this song or not, okay? Now, when you approach something like it's tempting to say, the pressure is so high, it's gonna sound bad. So it should sound good. It should not have weird things in there. If you worked on it in a good way, the previous phases were nice, it's gonna be okay. But remember, there's no perfect. So let go of things, okay? If it doesn't absolutely match 100%, the certainty of it, if you feel like there's something you're not sure, don't overdo it because you risk to trim. So let's listen to it, and I hope I can find something that I want to retouch. I will print it with you, so I'm literally listening to the whole thing with you while it's printing this print thing. What is it? Print 1 mix 01 no master. Okay, so we know we're at 941. I just have to press F9. So we'll listen to it, and I'll comment on it. I'll let it go till the end. Unless something explodes, which I hope it doesn't, we'll go through to the very end, okay? This song has no title. If you're a patron of mine, you should start naming things, because I'll pick a title probably and put it. If it doesn't get licensed, it actually will be in the record, okay? So off we go. and end. Now, did we print anything? Because the beautiful thing about Bitwig that we don't see the audio in the linear thing. So now I'm gonna, did we print anything? Let's do it. Because it sounded good. I hope it printed. So let's do that. Oh yes. Oh yes, we did. All right. So I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I always okay. I have to like this is a topical moment if we that I can capture, and I know a lot of people would be more attracted to the new plugins out there, but there is gonna be that one person, at least one person that I'm gonna help out with these, because I'm kind of putting a very problematic spot in being a composer under the microscope and out there. I'm talking about something very psychological as well. So the fear of listening to stuff while it's printing is excruciating. And I will tell you that you can only prepare for it more, but there is a level of confrontation with your own self while you are printing music that will always be there. Okay, so there is no way for me, for myself. I know it's getting psychological, but I want to do that because it's important, and I already told you it is important. You will never, at least in my opinion, be able to lower or lessen or lighten the excruciating analytical judgment and rationalization of yourself listening to what you crafted, knowing that it's the definitive print that cannot be changed, okay? In my opinion, you cannot work to lighten that. Like that moment, that process will always be the same huge demon, okay? It's a huge demon. There is no way to make it weaker by any means. You know, you have no control over that demon, but you can get to that point a lot more prepared than you were maybe years and years ago, okay? So even if today I haven't listened to this song, yesterday I've been gardening the whole day, I have literally not turned the computer on the day before this stream, literally haven't turned it on, you know, played with our sea cars, done gardening, landscaping with my wife, stuff, everything but the computer. I have not been in this room. I have worked on this song at regular productive intervals, and this goes to, it has to be creatively healthy when you start the idea, when you develop it, and when you close it. This is phase 3, okay? We could say it's phase 3. It's actually 4 to me, because there's creating, developing it, final touches, and then ending it, okay? So it's our phase 4. Because I had been controlling myself and being, you know, productive and healthy in the previous phases, this is now a phase I am prepared for. But this said, there's always gonna be something that you probably want to change, okay? So how do you deal with it? I've done tons of classes as, not tons not, but I've done very significant classes as a student a couple times, and as a teacher, as an instructor, when I went back to Italy after studies. I had the luxury and really honored to help people who really had these kind of issues, okay? So in my opinion, this is how it works. Your ego, the demon, is gonna try and tempt you in saying that first and foremost, it completely sucks. And this kind of level, the demon cannot bring upon me because I like the song, I like how it goes. But I am worried, and this is where the demon in my case kind of tries to get me. I'm worried that it's not delivering the message as well as I would like, okay? So that's where it can get me, okay? There's a couple spots that I would want things to be maybe a little bit more moving, like a little bit more changing. I don't know. Like there's a couple spots, literally probably 4 to 8 bars total. Okay. And so that's okay. That's okay. You know, we don't have to print 1. I can do print 2, right? But the question is, I come to the demon with a scale. and the demon puts its stuff on the scale. I put my own on the other one. Okay. And we never face each other. It's just we'll look at each other's, plates and how they move. And ultimately, that's how I detach myself from the challenge, So what the demon put on the scale is, are you sure that it's delivering the way you want, Well, the basic stuff's there. I like the sounds. I like everything. My main issue when I deal with my own stuff is the curvature, the trajectory. Is it doing the right trajectory? Is it doing what I want? And this song is fairly complicated, and I feel I'm personally proud of how I've done it, because I know in myself, I will never sponsor that. I will never talk about it. I don't know. It's just within myself, I know how I want it to let the background be perceived, how dark the percussions need to be, and how not overly out there like an action movie I wanted this to be. Okay. And I think I'm patting myself on the shoulder because I've done that. So the demon really cannot get in there. But the curvature of the song, because it goes through so many phases, is, do we have highlights? Do we have peaks? Before reaching the part where you see bar like 97 or something like it, we can be specific, bar 97, like section 6. If section 6 wasn't that flat top, the whole thing, literally the whole song, would fall apart. Because if the vast drums weren't as loud as they are, and I remember at some point they weren't any longer, that the whole structure of the song completely collapses, because there is a reason section 6 is there. It's the highest flat top, and then it goes to dissect itself. Okay. And that's exactly how I wanted it. And that's exactly how I wanted to play stuff and how I wanted to do it. Now, I'm thinking that in one version of the previous one, there's a pattern, there's a Prophet 6 pattern that I have printed that should be here, that will actually add that variety in a section that I wanted. And then it will, and I think it's not here, or maybe it's a Prophet 12. No. I think it's not this one. No. It's somewhere after this base station part. Somewhere in here, it's gonna be there. Maybe it's in version 13. Maybe it's there, but doesn't matter. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. And the last straw, the last, the fatal hit against my demon is, Alberto, how do you feel if you were to lose the whole print out of a change that you want to do? I know it's not going to happen. Hopefully it's not going to happen, right? Hopefully it's not. If I make a change, it's just going to be a change. It's going to be mixed too, whatever, right? How would you feel? Would you roll the dice again? Okay, that's the question that I indirectly always ask myself, okay? Indirectly also ask myself. Always ask myself, do I want to roll the dice again? It's like a blackjack, match. Do you want a card? Or are you good? That's exactly how you should feel. Do you want to draw, or are you good? You stay, And if, by all means, I were unable to do any change to this session, I am 100% behind this song. I'm okay. I know it's gonna get mastered, so it's gonna get maybe a little bit more beefy, whatever. I'm gonna do checks on other stuff. It depends. I have a tonal balance reference that I might want to address, but in this phase for print 1, I don't want to touch it. It's okay. Okay, and another important thing is that I don't have external MIDI going on. I checked that my pedals were talking about the same BPMs, which is happening 164. And we are at 1024 buffer size. Remember, every DAW feels a little bit different. Each DAW feels a little bit different in terms of buffer size as well. So Bitwig I found to be extremely locked, tight, So other, when I've done MIDI in Pro Tools in the old years, 1024 to print it, no, I would stay at 512 because the MIDI would feel a little bit loose. For some reason, it wouldn't work. The continuous controllers were feeling weird. That is beyond, like Pro Tools 10, early Pro Tools 10, so probably fixed by now, but just make sure you know that, okay? Now, the whole point is remain calm. If you don't like stuff, or if you think you don't like stuff, don't move to just listen to it 300 million times. And don't even feel overly excited to take this print and go to somebody else, whether it's a family member, if it's your pet, if it's your wife, whatever, husband, significant other, guru, shaman, whatever you want to do. Don't rush to let other people hear it. It's a very personal suggestion, so you might feel completely different. What I do is I don't let anybody listen to it. Just because it's, actually I did, because it's on stream. My whole life is a lie. Everybody heard it. But in terms of going to somebody significant and saying, can you please listen to this? I would highly suggest that you don't do it. You have to fight your fight alone with your demon. It's like that scene from Dragon, with Bruce Lee, about Bruce Lee. It's not with Bruce Lee, it's about Bruce Lee. So it's that, cemetery scene where there's his son there and there's that samurai with armor, the demonic armor, he's fighting against. It's that moment. I always see myself listening to my own music at that moment, like, it's that scene from the movie. Epic scene by all means. It's the fight we all have against our demons. It's just fantastic. And so you might want to take a note about it, but the first thing we need to do is we got to rename this. Okay, so now we get back to the technical side. We're all quiet, we're all calm, we're all good. We know we have a good print. We know we have one song. It's done. It needs to be mastered, maybe. In my case, I don't even master things that much. But what I wanted to see is I want to take a look at the pre-mix bus. The two-bus retard I don't really care much about because it's just a technical thing. Why have I printed the two-bus retard? My God, I talk a lot. How do you people stand me? What kind of issues do you people have? To just, I never. Let me catch a breath. Because it's such an important topic. I feel so, so, how can I say that? I feel so, that's my kind of calling probably. I don't know, so pardon me if I'm overly excited about it, but it's just a topic I'm really, really, really feeling, close to. So the two-bus retard print is here just in case anything goes wrong with my pedals, okay? We know we have the two-bus return. That's the entirety of my effects coming from it. I can't print, and I don't want to print the whole separate effects, because that would also mean I had to go through 5-6 different types of prints and through 5 sets of converters as well. I don't feel that's necessary. But by all means, having a two-bus return print is going to save your butt in case anything happens, in case a pedal's wrong, in case you want to just hear how things are doing. So we got to rename these beautiful green tracks, okay? So this would be the name of the song, which I haven't given, but so we have to respect the protocol. We use my first template, that's the name of the song at the moment, DZ 11E, mix 1, no master, print, or actually, sorry, print, okay? And something missing, 4824, okay? So that's how I do it. Print, it means it's a mixed bounce, it's a mixed down, okay? Print my first template DZ, 11E, mix 1, no master, 4824. Okay, then we go copy, because it's kind of a long name. We go paste, and we go change stuff, because this is not mix 1, no master. This is no mix bus. Okay, 4824. Why do I use two S's? I usually don't. Brings me bad luck here. I'm just joking. No mix bus. Okay, so the second file is my print. Remember, just make sure you're naming things the right way. So print no mix bus is print my first template DZ11E no mix bus 4824, because it's a 48 kilohertz 24-bit session. Okay, and this one, I'm gonna just write it again. It's print my first template DZ11E 2 bus return 4824. Okay, and I'm gonna save. So what is going on here? I've named the three files all with print, all with the same name of the song. The version is the same, and then there's the differences, right? One is a mix 1, no master, so that I know that's the way I'm calling the first mix. Then there's a no mix bus, and then there's a 2 bus return. Why am I printing no mix bus? Because effectively, since there's no hardware involved, if I print a no mix bus and I want to change this to something else, I can do it. I can even print these offline with my mix bus and use maybe the glue at 8 times oversampling, for example, things like that. So I like to have a no mix bus version all the time. And I don't have to print again. I don't have to listen to it. It's done because it's printed through the different processes. You remember, I'm using Mixstream, right? Then I have a print my first template DZ11E 2 bus return. These three files will need to go in a backup folder somewhere else than your session and everything. But so far, if we save this, we have our printed first print of the song. Why should this feel good? Number one, you've printed a song. You have it. Whatever that is, it's almost there. People can listen to it, And it's fascinating to look at the waveform for whatever reason. I have no idea how long that is. Let's try and go show real time graph. So we're starting at like 12 seconds. What is it? Like maybe around there. And we're ending at 340, but there's cues. So it's a typical 330 kind of thing of a song. And within that, there's 300 million different scenes. It's a nice song. It's kind of a complicated layout for me to lay down. And there's a lot of environments. That's how I call it. That's just names I'm making that would give a prospective video game developer ideas on, within this song, there are probably about, again, 9 to maybe 7 to 9 cues that a game developer can ask you to develop, okay, to inflate, because there's stuff that, and there's even more, maybe there's twice as many if they tell you we like that, but please take the drums out, and give us the drum stem so we can fade it in and out with the game engine. There's a lot of things. This song is kind of a small portfolio in one track, in 3 minutes. And I'm telling you this because 3 minutes are a lot of time for a lot of people who you are bothering to get work from. If you're getting somebody to say, hi, John, and I'm just making a name up. Hi, John. This is Alberto. I've been making new stuff. I know you're developing a new game. Look, this is something that I've just printed. It's just a song it's just a sketch that I finished 3 days ago. But it's not just a sketch. It's like, ideas for some kind of project. Oh, maybe you're interested to it. You give them one single song. They will go, maybe shuffle the file around, get an idea of how professionally you produce that in terms of sound. And they go like, wow, well, there's a lot of cool stuff, or there's a little bit of cool stuff, or there's stuff we hate, But 3 minutes of their lives is a lot. But 30 seconds will probably require you to send them 3 or 4 sketches. Now they have 4 files to listen to, put them in their I don't know, it depends. If they asked for sketches, they're okay. But if they haven't even called your name, maybe one song is just what you need. You know, you just pitch it. Maybe it's whatever they're doing. I don't think they're doing a kids casual video game here. It's probably something very dark and very kind of, I don't know, whatever. You know, and you just pitch that, right? So that's it. So we're very happy because we have that. To a marketing standpoint, this is also a huge thing because we have something we can put on a website. We have something we can send privately to people. It's not even finished yet, but I can see the prints. They're green. They smell nice because this green smells absolutely nice. And because we printed them at the same time, they start and end at the very, very, very same moment. Okay? Now that we have the first print, things can get better, right? But they can also go to hell easily. And if we didn't have print 1 and we start messing with it, we'd be absolutely in trouble, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these and close it, okay? You can do a collect and save if you want. I've done it before, so I think this is kind of probably not necessary, but if you want to export these, you just select these 3. I just saw it. I pretend I knew this. I just saw it. Export audio, and we select what we want. You know, we have the 3 files, blah, blah, blah. I think maybe if I right click this one as well, there's an export thing as well. I don't know. Do we? Well, I'm sure this will be probably files somewhere that we can use. So that's okay. I think it's an export audio, wave, FLAC, Opus, Vorbis. This is insane. It's my first time in this window, right? So I would take these 3 and I would probably go loop region, and I would say sample rate current and dither. I don't know. Do we want dither? You know, triangular dither to rendering output. I don't want a triangular dither. I want better dither than triangular. So pre-fader, yes, absolutely pre-fader. We don't want to do open target folder when done. Okay, you could do that. So you could say, Alberto, you didn't know about that. Why didn't you print with the mix channel, right? Something like it. Or why didn't you make, get the 2 bus return? I want to do it real time, and I want to see the files, and I want them synced to the session. Absolutely. So this would be it. I'm going to save. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the, I completely forgot, the version 13, was it 13 or 12, whatever, the next one, oh, the 11D, and I want to see around bar and section 6. Section 6, paragraph 3, sounds like I'm calling, a law. Section 6 maybe has something between base station, profit, whatever, Sometimes I take screenshots as well. I do this, just take a screen and save it in Paint and just see if it looks the same. It could work. Let's do that. So let's do close. We'll take a little bit of time, and then we go to Fuseroom, and then we go to what is before E is D. So this could be even newer, okay? Although DZ11C had a print already. So why would I have written something when a print was there? That would have been very wrong, right? So there's nothing here that I can see. So I think it's exactly the same song. And there's something wrong here. As you can see, there's this part that I've printed there. Okay, so this is okay. The beautiful thing about Bitwig is that it's loading. See, it's just, I don't know, going insane maybe, but it's loading the plugins while we're allowed to see the session itself. And I find these insanely useful because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably close without saving anything. Absolutely say no to all questions. We were here just to take a look at stuff, right? So we close, and I wanna open C. C I've done. So D, I've opened B. Just want to make sure that that's that. So these errors could not open target device. I have no idea why could not open target device. But as I said, my MIDI is weird. So let's take a look at this. There's probably less automation. Oh, here it is. Here it is. There's a Prophet 6 bounce here. There is a Prophet 6 bounce. So we had something going on here that got lost, right? Does it make sense? I remember that. Isn't that cool, right? I don't know if things are going to explode or whatever. Maybe not. It looks like there's a lot of things happening here, but the markers are not even done. So what I'm thinking is that we have good stuff there, but I was right in remembering that we're missing a Prophet bounce, okay? We're missing that. And I want that, right? So I know that this file starts from, and I've never done it, so bear with me. We're gonna do this right on the bat. So bar 110, the sessions are the same. I'm gonna take this here, this file, right? We got tons of things going on here. The Prophet 6 track has all of these. There's the black hole part. You see I've done automation. This is a beautiful part. Why isn't it there, right? We need it. So we know that it starts at bar 110 and, you know, it's 110 and 2. Let's do that, okay? I'm gonna try and copy. Look at that. I don't even know if that's gonna work. Gonna copy it, close this, right? No. Open my bounce version. You remember it was this one, easy print, no master, right? And we found something that wasn't working. So do you panic? You don't panic. You know that you know, good thing that I remember I had played my Prophet 6. I want that Prophet 6 to be there. So it was bar 110 halfway through. So Prophet 6, this guy got probably, I don't know, something weird about it, right? Oh, where are we? Where am I? Why am I up there? Go back. I don't want to see bar 300 million whatever. So loading plugins takes a little bit. Obviously, it's not in 100% in the background. I hope one day it will be. But what I want is to go back to my bars. Here. Go back. There's probably shortcuts. I'm horrible with them. So you see here, black hole. See this automation? It's here. I wonder if the track is actually here. And we hear it. So let me hear the Prophet 12 before. Okay, the Prophet 12 is there. Let me hear these bar. It's gone. Okay, so it should have been here, right? Right on. So why is this happening? Oh, maybe I have a key on, whatever. Oh, yes, okay. I had a key locked in. So we go back to our bar 110, 2. We erase this. And as you see, all the automation is gone. So that's bad, right? Because what happens if I do this? Aha! But we don't have automation because we erased it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go here, take this part, maybe here, paste it, and drop it down. Ha ha ha! Cheated. Now we should have the automation that was there before because nobody really messed that up. And there's, what did I play here? General, oh, nothing. Okay, so what is this part doing? See. All right, and as you noticed, that happened again. We cracked this. Okay, so terminate audio engine. Yes, of course, we're gonna do it. So there's a different part in the Prophet 6, and I'm thinking because I did override that. There's no reason. Like I printed accidentally over the Prophet. I have erased that part while it was printing, right? So that's a typical bug of when you're doing there. Sometimes you lose stuff and it's okay. And you say like, you know what? It's okay. Like there was something that is missing. Do I want to add it back? That's it. That's a question, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to session 11C, and then I'm going to take a look at the whole of the Prophet 6 track. Now, in some sessions, some DAWs, for example, Nuendo or Pro Tools, you can take and import tracks from another session. I don't know if Bitwig's gonna do that, so we don't know. So we're gonna terminate the audio engine. I'm not gonna turn it on again. I'm just going to go File, Close, Open 11C, look at the Prophet 6 that got accidentally overwritten, take a look at the entirety of the tracks. I don't think I've played it anywhere else. It's only on bar 110, movement 2 on the 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3. And halfway through it starts and it's got that automation. So we could safely print it post fader, so we have it printed post faders. Everything I've done will get translated there. That would be safe, probably, but I think I've only printed that. Like, it's only that bounce that probably has some effects. I know this patch is patch number 1. This should be done a little bit better. This was a template that we wrote a song on, right? So Prophet 6, this track would then have, in parentheses, 001, which reminds me of the patch name that I had loaded. Now, if it's tweaked, sometimes I add an asterisk. That means that I've changed stuff. I don't save patches that dramatically. I just save the name of the patch or the number in the case of the Prophet, or things that don't have preset names. And if it's a modified patch, I used to have an asterisk just saying, like, I did touch the preset. It's not 100% original. But to be honest with you, I don't do it any longer. It's just too much work. It doesn't make sense. I often touch the patches that I have used. So it makes no sense to me to use user memory, save it. I print them right off the bat, literally. So if something's off and I want to change the patch, the part, and the patch isn't 100% right, I'll make a different patch, or just a different tweak to the same patch. But it's good to know, like, patch 3, it's where it started, right? Patch 345, right? And then you know that you started from 345, and at least that's the starting point. It's going to sound different, but that's there. So I have no idea if Bitwig's going to open these or not. Clicking there. I've learned to have faith in Bitwig, because it rarely, in all of my messing it up, completely disappears or crashes to oblivion for whatever reason. Rarely. Now, we're going to jinx it for sure now. But I think what it's doing, it's opening the song and it's reinstantiating the audio engine as well. So, no idea if that happens or not. Again, it could be a ESI thing with the driver I have, with Bitwig not liking that. You see I have these that I can't always use. Could be that maybe a different USB port's better. I have so many devices plugged in. It could be weird, for sure. Could happen. Let's see where we go from here. And you see what happens? Like, you can't see it, but I'll tell you. The UA Spark plugin has the system tray has crashed. The other stuff hasn't crashed. So I have this hunch that it could really be, that one. So let me see if I've played other stuff. So there's Black Hole. Let's see if there's other automation here. The on-off, for sure, no. Well, this would be hardware instrument. I doubt that I've done anything at hardware instrument level, but maybe I've done it at mixer level. I see there's a volume thing as well. Probably. Right. Okay, so we're going to load these and we're probably going to bounce it to a different track so that we know for sure that once we import that WAV file, that audio file, that's gonna contain everything I've done. The black hole thing I see, all right, I want that pinned. And then what else? Mixer volume? No. Pan? No. Mute? No. Send groups. Okay, well, yes, obviously. But these we can see here, right? So Crotosian as well. Aha. So the black hole and Crotosian, right? Oh no, is it here? Oh, wrong track, sorry. So only the black hole is getting automated, I think. Okay. So this curve we had. So all we need to do is take this track, think there's anything missing here, 110.2, copy it, close again. So far, that seems to be the only thing that was missing, you know, you don't know, but that's what it takes. If you miss it and you don't know, was it really important? Maybe not. Maybe not. So this UA Connect, man, is really, I don't know, it sounds to me this thing is weirdly put for now. So we're back. We're activating the audio engine. And while we're at it, because we have the Prophet 6 here, we go to our bar here. You remember how I had done it? I had cheated. I had pasted it here. Hopefully it will work. Okay. But it should be back here. Here. I'm doing two things at the same time because the computer is loading plugins and I'm already messing things up. So that's the right starting point. 110.2. Good. No, it has to be 0.3, right? But I think it was starting on the offbeat. Actually, I didn't want to try Bitwig because I'm satisfied with Studio One, but maybe I have to try it anyway. Marco, I am nobody to tell you you should, but for sure, I think I'll see what happens. So we were here, right? Ooh, this is dangerous now. I think you should somehow. So see how that is moving around? Now, because I am practically half a moron, we don't know exactly if that was there. So, right? I think I know what it should be doing. So at least I wrote it. So this goes back here. I'm thrilled how Bitwig deals with problems. Isn't it insane? Honestly, isn't it insane? Like it's about like it's got spectacular recovery. It's just, who else would stream about a DAW crashing and would wait, you know? If I do that, it's because not once have we crashed to desktop, right? That's how you say that. If we haven't crashed to desktop, data is not lost. If you had a part you had just played and you would think like, oh, it's just a, you know, fantastic part, and you crash right there, it won't get lost. You just wait. Don't stop the process. Just wait there. And this is the beta 5, so it's a beta version, and it's locked tight. Okay, so I am not sure this would be it. I think this should be right on the beat. Unfortunately, if we do this, we're not really on the beat itself, right? So that is not how I would do it. I would go back to the other project and just fine tune it in a way that it's bounced and it's perfectly on, for example, bar 110. I would do that. But if we solo this, now I think you should have audio, I think, or maybe not, okay? If we solo this, we do have it, right? The thing is, does it have effects? Right, yes, but it's right, okay. So I'm not satisfied about that timing. I want to still redo it. And I think this is part of the process. It shows you how dedicated I am on that stuff. I could for sure wing it and say, you know, it's got a da na 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 na. I know how it is, but I don't want to do it. I want to have it the way I printed it, you know. And if it's something that a keyboards player played, don't do it by yourself. You know, they played it that way. See, there's that little bit of a momentum there. So it was right, probably. It was right. How do we do that? Can I do it from here? Right, okay. So as long as I go on 110, 1.4, we're good. And there's a little bit of tail, okay? So we're good. We're good. We go File. See, I'm crashing it because I'm doing stuff while it's working on plugins and things. I close it. I could do Control W. That'd be faster. And while it's loading stuff, for the fourth time, we kill it, right? And we go back. I hope, like, you know, Lucy and Christian from Bitwig, they look at these streams, maybe they watch it one day and they go like, okay, there's inherent testing to what he's doing because it's just, he's recklessly using Bitwig in a way that a moron would. So, all right, so remember where we were? 110, last movement, we go to the Prophet here. Oh, it's loading. So we go to the baseline. Do we want to wait for the plugins to load or not? Maybe yes, maybe no. Let's wait. It's reloading stuff. Remember, there's also Reason 13 beta in the background. So who would write an album or music for somebody in such a delicate, fragile, completely beta testing environment with licenses bound to expire, sponsorships that, you know, you gotta talk to people again, whatever. And so paste. We have that little bit of an incipit. So now we go here, we move it to Prophet 6, right off. Okay, so we're good, right? But we save it. We don't save over it. We don't save over it. That was the thing I wanted to mention. We don't save over this. We will never touch 11E print 1 blah 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 again. We will go File, Save As, 11F, Print Mix 02 No Master. Or we could say Mix 01 because it's still Mix 01, but it's 11F. And we could say Prophet 6 part brought back, okay? I'll go Mix 2. I'll go Mix 2. Sometimes I kind of like to say, just, I know one day I'll forget. And so I'm looking at it and it's like 11F Mix 02. Oh yeah, that's better, you know? That's usually how I do it. And I know the question a lot of people are going to ask is, do you, why is this part showing in bulk? All right, this is good. Let me hear if there's the Prophets here. All right, so I'm really thinking that something's going to be up with this thing. But how do we, last but not least, okay, it's important. So we got print 1, but we're into 11F print 2, right? So why would we want to keep Mix 1 No Master? What I would do usually is I would create a lane or another take here, okay? And I have no idea how to do it in, maybe with clips. Okay, maybe it has to be done with clips. I am not gonna do it that way, okay? I'm gonna duplicate this track, print. I'm gonna put it up there. I'm super old school. I know that. I'm super old school. But look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take print and I'm gonna call it print 11E Mix 01 No Master. Okay? And this is gonna be print This is gonna be print 11E, no mix bus. And this is gonna be print 11E, 2 bus retard, okay? Probably for this reason I can take that out. So I'm good now because these 3 tracks can be made inactive. And we know that we got the 3 things done right. We got the 3 old prints, they're not gonna bother anybody, they're gonna stay there, okay? But our print track is new. And so what I could do is I could put this onto my mix track and have it play or go in monitoring. So one way to do it, I'm curious if Bitwig will do it, is to have the input of print go here, mix, master, pre, we said that, right? It's set correctly. And we're gonna output to my monitor track, okay? So now we need to take the monitor track out of monitoring. I don't want to monitor these anymore, and I think it's gonna work. Or I can audio to track, okay? I can send these to print 11E. So if I send these to print 11E, then I think I don't need to set an input. It will override the input. If I do, I think I can just go no output. I have this hunch, maybe I'm wrong, okay? Why is it taking it so long? Oh, maybe I've destroyed Bitwig now. When that happens, usually I mute my audio just in preparation of a massive explosion or whatever. So I have no idea why that happened. We locked it down. So mix is now not, it should be going not out to the monitor. I have no idea. Let's see, Marco, if this one works. I have no idea what happened, but see what I did. New version of the file. No harm done. We can close it, we can crash it, we can reboot. We open 11F now and we see what happens. For whatever reason, it froze when I took the track out of monitor track. So I don't want that to go to monitor track. I want that to go nowhere and that to go to a print track. So when I am monitoring, I'm listening to the live mix. When I am not monitoring, I'm listening to the print. That would be my call. But I have no idea why that happened. Now, did we crash? Probably. Maybe this is the hardest crash we've ever had. Let's see. Let's see. Well, now it's not our fault. I haven't done anything wrong. I have no idea why this is locking it out. And as I was saying, you can do 2 things. You can set the output of the mix track to my print track, and at that point you don't need, I think, the input of the track itself to be there. Or you can do as I did, set the input on the print track and you can remove the output from the print. But we gotta document what is going on, so I want to see that. And again, I don't know how I'm using it. I'm just reckless. So could work, could not work, could be not working, whatever. I know we have the automation of that black hole pedal. Things are, they're how they should be. So that's fine. And again, I'm kind of suspecting that the Spark app crashing could be a consequence of the audio crash. Okay, are we there? We are. Look, it's insane. So, okay, I'm gonna set an input track, okay? I want this to be print. Boom, done. Okay, so how does it work? Now, I'm gonna press play in between here, and solo this track. Okay, I have audio, but it's muted. Right, okay. So if I unsolo this, I shouldn't be hearing, if I mute this track, I shouldn't be hearing anything. Okay, it works. All right. So do we save? I don't know. Let's not save. So just to resume everything, mix goes to print now. It no longer goes to monitor. There's another step in between. Print is getting the mix pre and is going to monitor track. So if I mute this track, we no longer hear anything because it's the last track, right? If I play it, oh, we're crashing? Yes, okay, audio appears to be hung. Again, is this UAD thing going? No, right? We gotta terminate. All right. I will probably cut these parts in the video, just so we go like super fast. But let's keep pushing it, okay? So it's obsessing over what we're doing. We're terminating the audio engine. Do I have time? I think we have like 15 minutes to test this out. We terminate the audio engine. We play it again. And we just probably play it. Maybe it will work. We don't know. My idea is this. So I want the print track to be the last track before the monitoring, because if it has something on, this is a common trick in DAWs these days, especially with hybrid setups. If you have hardware things, mastering converters to go out and come pitch and catch and stuff, you will have an aligned print. This means that if you're not monitoring the input, you're listening to what is on the track. And if you're monitoring the input, then you're ignoring what is on the track and you're listening to what is there, right? So sometimes you can do this by muting or unmuting the print track next to the mix bus. It's okay. But in systems like Pro Tools, Studio One, I think Nuendo as well, you can have tracks being in monitoring stage or in playback stage. And these will effectively align your full live mix with your printed track. This is useful because I want to monitor my mix 01 while I make decisions on mix 02. You know, and I say like, you know what, there's something about mix 1 that is just beautiful. Okay, it could be, right? Could happen. You say like, there's something about it that is just fantastic. You know what? I'm glad I printed mix 01. That's okay. Or in other cases, you go like, no. It's just mix 02 is just better, right? If we print an entire mix 02 and okay, activate audio engine, this is done. We reactivate the audio engine. If we print an entire mix 02 and then we find out that for some reason we like mix 01 better, but we know that there's that Prophet 6 track that was missing and we want to add it, we can even use mix 01 as a base print and bounce Prophet 6 over mix 01 and get mix 02 out of it. Does it make sense? Like you play a backing track through the missing Prophet, and this will add the missing track into it, and it will probably almost 100% sound identical. It won't be identical, but you could get away with it. Or we cut mix 01 in the points where print 02 has, you know, the Prophet 6 part. And we can even come back to mix 01. There's a couple songs in Future in the Past. Maybe no, there's one song in Future in the Past, for sure, one, that I have made a patchwork, like real tape work out of. There's maybe 8 bars of one song, I don't remember which one it is, that were weirdly different. I don't know why. Maybe a plugin got completely weird, but I liked it better and I could not replicate what was going on there. I took those bars and I put them into the other print. because you print entire prints, like full songs, the moment you get to a specific bar, the sound of your effects will be in the air. It's important that you have busy air. That's how I kind of call it. Or dense air. You have busy air. You cannot print a new print starting from bar 100 and pretend that it will sound right off the bat like before, because especially with long tails, it doesn't work like that. So to print bar 110, I guarantee you have to start, in my case, is almost halfway before. So bar 60, okay, just to be safe. But I like to do full prints anyway, so it doesn't matter. So where are we? Here, okay. Let's go to our profit bar, which is 110. And if I press play, okay, we hear that one. If I press monitor, you see, I'm monitoring the track. I can go live full monitor or auto. So if I go auto monitoring, it's nice. When it's getting recorded, armed, it will monitor my live mix. So here we should have the profit. Okay, so we don't have the profit unless we're monitoring the full thing, okay? So yellow with the circle means always on monitor, always monitor input. If we turn it off, we're hearing the track. So what's the difference between what we just printed and what is coming here? I have to start from a little bit before just so we get an idea. But you know what? I'm gonna start from 110 just to get an idea. So this is what we printed. Right? And we go into that other part. We sit down. See how the octa tracks are going? We get into groove 2 or 3, whatever, groove 2 of the octa track. My decision was to not really have that empty space because there's empty space coming after and it's a little bit long, and it felt longer because the profit part was missing. And so it was like, okay, where does this want to go? Alberto, no, it actually was wrong. Okay, so if I monitor the print track, right? So now everybody, my 3 million viewers right now are gonna go like, totally better. Absolutely makes total sense, right? So how do we do it? How do we do that? The way I would do it is I erase this thing, okay? And I create 3 tracks, right? So I just do boom, copy, boom, copy. So now, and then I erase this, okay? Oh, well, I have two bus returns. No, I want this guy here. Boom, okay. So I enable all 3. And yes, I like to have them like this. Believe it or not, 11F, no mix bus, 11F, 2 bus retard, and 11F, there's a mistake there, 11F, mix 02, no master, okay? So this should be F, not E. This is a duplicate audio file. I think at this moment I wanna save, just because, you know, right there. Okay, so let's double check our inputs and stuff. We have the 2 bus return, that's right. We have the mix trim out, that's okay. And we have the mix pre-master pre-fader, right? So 11F mix 2 no master. 11F, that would be no mix bus. And this would be 2 bus retard. Now, to be completely honest with you, this would not be mix 02. This would be mix 01 again. But the session I've called, mix 02, so whatever. it's gotta be mix 02, just so I feel safer about 2 and 11F better version. So we start at 941. If you have punch in and punch out, you should punch out at the very same moment you punched out before. I'm not too worried about the outs. I'm worried about the starting points, the alignments, okay? So we double check that all of the other tracks are not, see there, this one here, what happened? You know, I've recorded over brass brams. I'm a failure at everything I'm doing. All right, so what you should do is obviously, I mean, all right, double check that. We printed it over. I don't know if it's a leftover for the other version. Anyway, I print and I get the 3 files, okay? And the 3 files will be there, and I will have my first template, 11E, 11E2 bus, return no mix bus, mix 01. Then I have 11F, and if I keep going with different versions, like maybe 12, mix 3, master 1, I usually kind of like to have the prints there. You know, I could put them in a folder maybe, and all of the old prints put there and be put there, and have just the latest prints out of there. That could be good. To be honest with you, I kind of like to have them stacked because I like to see my waveforms. Sometimes I make last second adjustments, and well, you know, I kind of want that to be that way. So I wonder if I do this, consolidate. Oh, we don't have anything any longer. All right. So even the brass brams are now wrong. We don't have that. Okay. So again, you know, this is just my mistake for how I've done that. But this, you get the idea, right? Of how I print this. Just make sure that you are. Can one probably not arm the tracks? Maybe not, right? One cannot do it. So maybe one can probably lock a track. No. Can one lock a track? No. That would be good. Like, for example, to lock a track and say, like, you cannot do, you know, edits on it. But in general, just, you know, just you scout all the tracks. You see that they're not record enabled. You know, they'd be good. It's just me not being able to use this DAW yet as an issue. So green print tracks at the top, very far from the mix bus. You can put them at the end. I usually like to have them on top here. And all of the other sections, all the automations and things are just going, working, doing their things, and go. That's how you do it, right? So this will probably be done in maybe in mix 1 or 2. I will take a look at how things are moving. For example, here on the mix bus, I like to get an idea of my first compressor. That would be a mixed decision, right? So I listen to these here and I see how it's going, and I say, okay, well, how does this work? You see that -1 gain reduction? I like that. That feels good. I usually don't move this. I will go to the volume or gain here of the trim, and I'll change it. So for example, if I want it to be a little bit less aggressive, I could go maybe 0.5 below, right? And these I can really confront because I can go monitor the live versus the file here, the print itself, right? Here, can I duplicate that? This thing here, boom, right? So I go here, press play, listen to the original version, and then because I have a print down here that is 0.5 down, I can clearly say, okay, well, maybe I like the -0.5 down, right? So that's a mix bus decision. For example, how would it sound? Let's try that. Monitoring on, we'll listen to a little bit of a step here, maybe bar 65, and then I bring it back into what it was, okay? So we know there's a 0.5 below that the compressor is not gonna get. Like raising the threshold, but I don't wanna touch the controls on the plugins. All right, now how was it? believe it or not, we're switching through live and print. This is my very first time with you doing this, and it's kind of a very nice, closing statement. Have you heard it? At 1024 buffer size? Have you heard it? It just doesn't give up. It's completely locked in. The effects are so true with the hardware that I would be hardly pressed to say I wouldn't be able to hear the difference. And there is a difference. There is a minus 0.5 gain going into the mix bus. So it's compressing just ever so slightly less, right? It does sound different. I like the version without the minus 0.5 trim, but it doesn't click. It doesn't produce any. I know I have a lot of clicks in the music, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I'm going to demonstrate to you that we do have a difference, because if I go to the Prophet 6 and I play it and I put these back to 0, we hear that there's a difference between live and the print. This is good. This is really good. Like, I'm not saying this is the best DAW, but this is really good. 1024 buffer size, 48 kilohertz, live instruments. They've been printed now, but all of the drum machines are internally, are internal devices. The pedals are all live. They're going into a summing box, coming back to it. We just turn on the monitoring and off, and alternating between what was printed and what is playing. It's making absolutely no problems with latency or stuff. This is very, very good. Again, it's a beta 5, so I think it cannot get worse, right? So really, really cool. Really cool. I keep seeing that the UA Spark plugin just comes back up here and there. I am thinking that is the reason why things are maybe weird. It could be. I don't know. What have I done with these UADs thing? Do they go to sleep? Never. Suspend, never. When silent, trust plugin. So why? Oh, trust plugin here. Okay. Maybe they shouldn't go to sleep. You know what? Maybe they shouldn't go to sleep. Maybe they don't like being trusted. They want to go here. Maybe it's reason. Maybe we don't know. There's really, that's something for somebody else. But that's how I would approach closing a song. So I know it's like how to finish a song. It's a little bit of a sarcastic, maybe catchy phrase, but we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about psychological effects, about how to approach it from the engineering standpoint, the composing standpoint. I've done it so many times. I faced my demon, as I said, so many times that, after a while, you just jump. It's just a song. It doesn't really, with everything that is going on in the world right now, why would you want to worry about your song? Even if it's the most horrible thing, it will never be the most horrible thing. It's just a song. It's your song. So just make the best out of it that you can, and then find out when it's time to just let it go, right? That's the thing you have to do. So again, thank you very much for being here. This was insanely cool. It's a topic that I really, really feel close to my heart, along with all of the sort of like more of a sort of ethical, moral, psychological effects of being a musician and composer, and producing your own stuff. That's also very, very problematic. Sometimes handing out things to others is a lot healthier. If it's a good team, for sure. If it's a bad team, or you just need to produce it yourself, you have to face your own different aspects of your personality. So I can only thank you for being here. Thank you, Marco, for staying up until all these tests. Thank you, Bitwig, for making this. It's just working. Propellerheads, Reason Studios, for the amazing stuff that they're doing with Reason. And all of you are gonna watch these maybe in the I don't know, next year or so. This topic will never come to pass. So thank you for being here and having watched it. You know, it's cool that I'm talking to people maybe a year apart from now. I really, really hope that in some way this was able to kind of break the ice and give people who are not comfortable with proceeding, with moving forward, kind of a nudge. That's what I would like. So thank you again for being here. See you soon in another episode of our creative workshops, making music for film, video games, for whatever, just making music. It's very important these years. Please don't be scared. Don't be just, you know, don't think that nobody needs your music. Just keep doing what you love. It's fantastic. I'm gonna be here. Check my Patreon and what I do, the other channels, because if you're interested, we can explore these even more. And have a good evening. Thank you very much again. Ciao.